For anybody on a path of healing, of spiritual awakening, of working with Kundalini energy, going through shadow work, one thing I really believe that you need is a connection to the bigger picture, a connection to devotion. How can you make your life a devotional practice? Something that you want to show up for every single day, even when times get challenging. In today's video, I am going to cover what devotion means to me and why I believe that these practices should always have an like the foundation always needs to be this devotion. I've spoken about it a few times. My clients will hear me speak about it again and again and again. It is the absolute core of making your life journey as easeful as possible. The irony of this is my cat's just been knocking stuff off the altar, it's devotion is a beautiful thing we get to explore on this spiritual path. For anybody who watched last week's video, thank you so much for bearing with the sound. Whenever I start to record these videos around Mercury retrograde, I always have some issue with videos not saving, sound going a bit weird, cats knocking stuff off the altar. I've just blown a light up, so so thank you for sticking with the video. The sound might be terrible, but I promise the content is amazing. You can check the video out here. So devotion. What is devotion? Devotion it's love. It's having a connection to, it's a reason for doing something. So we devote ourselves to something. Currently, right now, you're living a life where you are devoted to something, to living a certain way. You may just not be conscious of it. Some people are devoted to fear. Some people are devoted to living a life in highest alignment with their truth, in following their highest vision for life. Some people are devoted to life, to love, to service. So devotion can mean many things on many different levels. What I want to touch on today specifically is having a devotional practice. So a devotional practice that's going to help you when times that do get rocky, do get challenging on your healing awakening path. So what that looks like is you need to know why you're doing the thing. You need to know why you're going into this, because without you knowing why, it's going to be very easy for your ego, your mind, to back out, to go back to the comfortable old ways, not to keep going into the eye of the storm, go into the cave that we may fear to enter, because that's what the ego avoids pain and chases pleasure. So even if our comfortable life over here is not bringing us pleasure, it might also not be bringing us pain. It keeps us in this. The ego wants to keep us safe. It doesn't want to keep and chasing our highest alignment, our highest truth, our highest way of being might not be the most comfortable. So it's going to do anything it can to keep you in the comfortable life that is probably giving you some level of suffering, just not enough for you to want to do much about it. Devotion is allowing your soul to speak. Devotion is allowing your true self to come through, because if you're devoted to your healing, to your shadow work, to becoming the truest expression of who you are, your soul, your heart is going, yes, count me in. I am here. What do you like? It becomes service to life. And I'm not speaking about being devoted to a guru, being devoted to a god, being devoted to anything, I'm speaking like this is devotion to you, to the true self, to the self beyond the ego, the self beyond the conditioning. So when things do get tricky, if you know that you're devoted to something higher, whatever that is, higher than the suffering, higher than the reality you're living right now, higher than your past conditionings to keep on reliving the same loops, like whatever you're devoted to, that's where there's gonna be, it becomes like the GPS. Your soul's gonna come on, we're devoted to this, like let's keep going. It also does get the discipline on board, because you kind of switch the words devotion for like discipline or like they all hold a similar theme. Like you're giving direction to your psyche to say, no, we're going this way. So when things do get sticky and tough, we keep going because we're devoted to living our best possible life. And devotion really came about for me when I was in a really, really hard place. I was about 18 months out of cancer surgery treatment. I was still in deep in my dark night of the soul, where my old company was collapsing, relationships were really sticky and tricky, and I didn't know where I was going. Nothing I was doing seemed to be working. And my mentor, my coach said, you need to devote and dedicate yourself to your highest vision. My highest vision at the time was to get out of survival. That worked. And then the highest vision changes. So it's highest vision in health, wealth, love, life. Like, what is the reality that you want to live by? This becomes the GPS. It could be that you want to live your highest purpose, like your true expression of abundance and wealth. You want to live a reality where you are so in love with life that you attract your the perfect community and tribe to support you, that you attract your perfect soulmate. What is your highest vision for life right now? It can change in 2 weeks, it can change in 3 years, but what is your highest vision for life right now? Can you devote and dedicate yourself to this, your every move to this? This is what is going to drive you forward. So you wake up in the morning with purpose because you have something that you're devoted to. Now, the practices, so that is how we live a devotional way of life. Devotional practice is how we then give ourselves stable ground to create that, to take the actions in every day. So when your energy is out of whack, you're waking up between 1 and 4 a.m., you with like wild electric running through your body, your heart's open, your mind's racing, you're not sure if it's fear, anxiety, or if it's the very essence of life. And you have experiences that are making you question the relationships you're in, that your career, like, why am I doing this work? Why do I keep stirring the unconscious? Why am I doing the shadow work? Believe me, all of my clients have asked me this at least once. It's because you don't feel stable within yourself, within your being. And the whole point of this journey is that we're coming back to the true self. So your devotional practice is, yes, you're devoted to life and a higher vision, but you're devoted to becoming the true self. So that means that you're devoted to a path of evolution, and you need to create your psyche some stable ground for that to happen. So you need you must have a self-connection practice, be that meditation and mindfulness. When things get really rocky, are going to help you. It's like training the mind. They're going to help you to really just be steady and stable within yourself. You need to connect to your higher vision. You need to journal. You need to ask the questions. You need to keep on going deep. You need to be able to somatically release whatever is stuck in the body. You need to be able to ask the questions, build relationships with your inner parts, the conditionings, the protectors, the saboteurs, the all the kind of fragments of your ego and the shadow, and bring them all together. So you having these practices that are going to help you stay grounded, and in you staying grounded, you can keep following, dedicating every action to your highest vision. It kind of brings the whole thing together. I was just talking to a client earlier, without my devotional daily practices, which is meditation, journaling, some form of movement, even things like making sure my environment is tidy, making sure I look after my loved ones, making sure I groom the cats, making sure I all of these little practices that become non-negotiables because I'm devoted to doing them, because I'm devoted to living this way of life. They become anchors, and they keep us grounded. They keep us in some level of certainty, even when life feels uncertain, that we are able to keep on moving towards our dream life, our highest vision. So I was saying to a client earlier today, without my devotional practice, I would have lost it by now. There's no way I would keep wanting to evolve, keep going through this, because there's just too shaky. And so we don't feel like certain within ourselves. When we can't look to the world, we will never find certainty in the world. We can only find it within ourselves. That's what having a grounded spiritual devotional practice is going to help you do. Also, devotion helps you open the heart. There are many different paths of yoga. Bhakti yoga is the path of devotion, it's the path of the heart. So I believe that we're all here to open our hearts, to live from the heart. And devotion is a way of doing that. So devotion, worship, can every act be an act of ritual, of ceremony, of devotion? Every morning when I light my incense, I may set an intention. Every morning when I, if you've ever been to yoga, they will ask you to set an intention for your practice. That intention is an act of devotion to your practice. You might want to spend a certain amount of time devoting yourself to a particular goddess, or God, or a being that speaks to you. For instance, I have a client working on her abundance and wealth at the moment, and we've suggested that she devote some practice to Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity. It might be that you're in a time of real dark shadow work. You might want to devote your practices to Kali or Shiva. For me, one of my big devotions is to Shakti, is to Kundalini, is to that very breath of life, and how life becomes manifest, creation, because that is the era of my life, the chapter of my life that I am in. And then in doing that, I am devoted to all of my clients and their transformation. Currently, I'm about to run a retreat. I am devoted to making that retreat the most powerful container available right now. And can everything that you do become a level of devotion to your life? Because that is going to bring you joy, it's going to bring you peace, it's going to bring you love, it's going to help you open your heart as you move through life. With an open heart, we can't suffer. When we can come back to the heart, there is the suffering can dissolve. And we're creating a safe space for ourselves so that we can do that. When we can open our heart, when we can live from the heart, nothing can shake us. Not for too long anyway. Because we remember that this is where the power is, and that's what devotion does. So I would love to know your devotional practices. If you struggle with the idea of devotion, or you struggle to create a grounded practice for you to reach consciously co-create your highest vision for life, what is standing in your way? What is How do you think that you can bring devotion into your life? I would really love to know, so let me know in the comments. If you have enjoyed this, hit like, hit subscribe for more videos like this. And I really touch on devotion and conscious co-creation and doing this deep inner work in my Know Thyself program. It was run as a live challenge, and it has been so profoundly life-changing for many people who have been through it. People have healed from heartbreak, they've connected to the true self, they've understand what it is they actually wanted, they've gone on to do incredible things like cycle from Namibia to South Africa, and all of these amazing things just from starting with this beautiful journey of knowing thyself. That is devotion, is to know thyself. So if this program container speaks to you, you can learn more about that in the link below. And I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will speak to you next week.